Hey guys, this is Matt Huffman back from a very wet weekend at Dominion Raceway with NASA. Now, a wet track weekend isn't something that's on most people's wish list, but it was a really exciting opportunity to try out the new Continental ExtremeContact Sport tire, or the ECS tire. It requires basically no warm-up time, so whether it's wet, whether it's damp, whether it's dry, the tire's almost up to full grip right out of the box, so even on the outlap, the tire really inspires a lot of confidence. The next thing you notice about the tire is even in wet conditions, damp conditions, the tire communicates very, very well. So you'll see in the video that even when we're running with the wipers on and it's raining, you can hear the tires chirping under braking. You can hear the tire communicating in the corner as it starts sliding. So definitely gives you a good indication of when it's going to start losing grip. The next thing I'd like to touch on is the progressiveness of the tire. So even with the relatively high limits in all conditions, if you start to overcome the amount of grip that's there, the breakaway is smooth, it's predictable, it's easy to recover, so it's not a tire that bites you. It's definitely a tire that kind of lets you push hard, and if you push it a little too far, it's easy to rein it back in. And another thing that's just incredibly impressive with this tire is the strong amount of grip that you get over the full spectrum of conditions. So I ran this tire in the dry, I ran it in damp, I ran it in wet, and I ran it in raining, fairly heavy raining conditions. And again, it's basically this very predictable amount of grip, requires very little temperature to work, and it just gives you so much confidence over all of those conditions because of how easy it is to drive. If you're looking for a tire that can do it all, rain and dry, this one really hits it on the head, and it comes at a really good price point too. One final thing that surprised me is even in drying conditions, transitioning from a damp track to a dry track, you really couldn't tell any significant change of traction if you were moving from a damp spot to a dry patch and back, so it remained very predictable in that circumstance. And finally, even when the track was pretty much fully drying and I was pushing hard on the tire for multiple laps, it didn't fall off on grip, it didn't overheat, it didn't start to chunk. So it's just phenomenal to me for a tire to be able to grip well in pouring rain and also be able to tolerate the heat that you can throw at it on a dry track.